the bottom line is you might pick up the phone tomorrow and you might flip an ace. It might not be for a week. It might not be for a month. But when you're creative, when you're persistent, and you have the right attitude, like what Mike was talking about, and we both spoke about earlier in the training, believe me, you're going to be persistent, you're going to be creative, and you're going to follow up and follow through. Mike?
Well, Mike, what you're talking about, what I love about that is the simple fact that what you said is basically high tech versus high touch. High tech versus high touch. We've got the internet. It's a great medium. It's one of the most incredible mediums this industry has ever seen, but don't ever lose sight of the high touch aspect of our business. I use the internet to build my business. I use it to get leads. I don't know how Cutting Edge Media does it. I don't really care how they do it. I give them some money. They send me some leads. And the bottom line is I work those leads and I build the friendship. It's high touch. It's about, really creating that. It's psychological energy, and it goes back to, building this thing. My dad has always said, and I love him for it. He says, friendship's first. Friendship is first. It's everything. So, high tech versus high touch, leverage the high tech aspect of our business, leverage the internet, leverage the communication medium and use it for what it is. But the bottom line is it's a people business, and that's always what it's going to be about. And I think it's very, very important to your success. And again, like you said, Mike, enthusiasm is critical. And you just have to have a sense of urgency when you make the approaches on these calls. You got to be enthusiastic, and you got to do things to make sure that you get the job done. And we appreciate you listening to this part of the course. What we'd like to do at this point in time is let me go ahead and turn it back over to Mike, and if you have any thoughts or wrap up this section.
Bottom line, folks, is we have got to get focused on the system. We already talked about this. I'm going to give you a quick recap. We get people's attention. Cutting Edge Media does that for us. We got to maintain and keep their attention. We've got to expose our prospects minimum 5 times. We've got to navigate, which might be a great word to put in your vocabulary. We navigate prospects, whether it's into a meeting or watching a video, watching your website, so on and so forth. We also go through this sorting process, which, again, we just want to remind you, do not let that frustrate you. Allow the laws of averages to be in your favor. And going back to what we started off in the beginning, if you focus on personal development, believe me, I went from getting frustrated when somebody didn't join to I got frustrated more so for them than I did for myself because I was focused on personal development. And finally, going through follow-up and follow-through, getting into making some decisions. We're going to talk about in the final courses here about making decisions. We're going to talk about objections. We're going to talk about, if you have to, in leaving voicemail messages, turning your leads into recruits into massive organizations, and we're looking forward to the next course here.